Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about SouljaBoy and the SouljaGame Flip. Just taking a look here, this is a quick update. We talked about this one yesterday, and for those who may or may not be aware, it appeared that SouljaBoy was just reselling the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 at a marked up price, with a couple of stickers saying SouljaBoy on the box. Anyways, here it seems the SouljaGame Flip has been taken down from SouljaBoy's website. Now, from my understanding, Retroid has a patent on the Pocket Flip 2, and I'm wondering if that patent played into the overall picture of SouljaBoy removing that SouljaGame Flip. Who knows? If you are interested in learning more about the situation, feel free to check out my previous video where we talked about it in quite a bit of detail. Like everything we talk about, links will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. And on a quick side note, there was one thing I missed in that previous video, so this was one of the product images right on the SouljaGame Flip website. And we can take a look at the box in a little bit more detail here, maybe zoom in on it and see that Retroid Pocket was right on the box on the website. Not even joking, you can't even make this stuff up. And on a side note, if you are a little bit disappointed that the SouljaGame Flip is no longer available, you might be excited to know that the SouljaGame Pro is still available. This is on the website for $176.75, and if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is a rebranding or just a Kinhank K56. Could be wrong. And speaking about interesting things, next up we're talking about Square Enix and AI. If you're a fan of AI, you're going to like this news. If you're questionable about AI stealing people's jobs, you may not like this news. Listen to this headline here. Square Enix says it wants generative AI to be doing 70% of its QA and debugging by the end of 2027. Now, unless I'm misremembering here, and if I am, let me know in the comments below. When AI was initially introduced, companies were saying it was going to be an enhancement to people's jobs, make their jobs easier and make them more productive, not disrupt them and not put people out of a job. And now it seems like it's the exact opposite of that. It was basically what everyone was predicting. I mean, 70% of QA, great for Square Enix for possibly saving money and being more efficient. But I would say bad for the employee and maybe even bad for the overall quality of games. That might be a hot take, but I don't think so. I recommend reading the full article up on VGC, but listen to this here and let me know your thoughts. I guess Square Enix says they aim to improve the efficiency of QA operations and establish a competitive advantage in game development. VGC then points out, and I agree with this, the topic of AI being used for QA roles has been debated for some time now, while those in favor of it argue that QA testing can be a repetitive and boring job. Others argue that humans are better at spotting and describing anomalies while testing a game. I would wholeheartedly agree with that one, but maybe you don't. The second paragraph here I also really agree with. The other argument often made is that replacing humans with AI could result in the loss of numerous job opportunities. Some see QA roles as a potential gateway into higher paid, more creative roles in a company over time. This first sentence here, just replacing humans with AI could result in loss of numerous job opportunities. Yeah, overall, there's a lot more in the article, but I would say based on this information, I would question the quality of games that are strictly tested with AI or AI doing 70% of the testing. I do have my doubts and my concerns overall. I'm not going to say it's going to be worse. I'm not going to say it's going to be better, but I do have my concerns and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. And speaking about QA and maybe AI, who knows? Next up, we're talking about Windows. And this is really interesting, and it's in regards to Windows and Intel. Listen to this headline up on Tom's Hardware. Windows security update triggers BitLocker recovery in some systems. Bug mostly impacts Intel PCs with modern standby support. So here is the blurb. After installing Windows updates released on or after October 14th, 2025, some devices might encounter issues during restart or startup. Affected devices might boot into the BitLocker recovery screen, requiring users to enter the recovery key once. After the key is entered and the device restarts, it will boot normally without any further BitLocker prompts. From my understanding as well, if you don't have BitLocker enabled, this is not going to be a problem. And if you wanted to learn more about it, feel free to check out that Tom's Hardware article. And also go into your settings here in Windows under Privacy and Security and Device Encryption. and there are some very helpful links. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I've been noticing more and more reports about issues with Windows, and more than normal, I'll say. Let me know your thoughts about this one. And speaking about hearing more about stuff, next up we're switching from software to hardware and talking about Redmagic, specifically the 11 Pro Plus and 11 Pro. And I've been seeing more and more videos and information coming out about these liquid-cooled devices, and the performance for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 seems very impressive. There's a video here on YouTube that I would recommend checking out, and again, like everything we talk about, link will be within that GitHub link below. It's titled Redmagic 11 Pro Plus Extreme Gaming Test, and this person tests out a bunch of games, including benchmarking. Overall here, I'd say performance is pretty impressive, even with the Grand Theft Auto 5 Realism mod. I was not expecting it to perform this well overall, and it is still pretty early on. As time goes on, I'm assuming here, and I'm probably going to be right, and I hope I am, that drivers will be refined and software will as well, and things will work even better for it. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been hearing more and more about Redmagic, and more people seem to be embracing this gaming phone. Let me know your thoughts about Redmagic, and if you'd ever be interested in buying a Redmagic based on the chipset and the gaming first mentality of it. And speaking about gaming first, next up we're talking about David Jaffe. I might have mispronounced that last name. David is the game designer and director of stuff like Twisted Metal and God of War and even more. And David has made a few headlines here for one of his responses, or his quotes, a quote tweet from a tweet that's in memoriam to someone's father. So here's the initial tweet. It's from Monster, and there's a picture of a grave, which I'm assuming it's Monster's father's grave. And the tweet says, "Dad, you bought me my first Xbox. If it wasn't for you, I would have never have fallen in love with the game." And David tweets back, or quotes it, and says, "This is an Xbox." Now, as you can probably guess, that tweet was really not received well at all. The tweet at the time of filming is still up, and David has since said, "Before you come at me, losing parents suck. Both my mom and dad are dead, and I miss them all the time, but I can still laugh about stuff, and they would have as well." So there's that. The overwhelming response here from people, though, is not good. And speaking about unexpected stuff, but arguably this time in a very positive way, next up we're talking about PlayStation and the PlayStation Portal. And listen to this headline right on PlayStation's blog. Cloud streaming officially arrives on PlayStation Portal today with new support for digital PS5 games in your library. They go on to say here, "Today we're excited to share that PS5 Portal is receiving one of its biggest updates yet. Starting on November 5th at 6 p.m. PT, November 6th at 2 p.m. GMT, cloud streaming for PS5 games officially launches on the PS5 Portal for PlayStation Plus Premium members, along with a variety of new features to enhance how you play." So on top of cloud streaming, they've got a redesigned UI, and they've also got 3D audio support, passcode lock, network status screen, and even more. When the PS Portal initially launched, there was a lot of criticisms and questioning why the device even existed. Some people bought the device and absolutely loved it. Some people bought it and questioned why they bought it in the first place. However, as time has gone on here, I think PlayStation has done a pretty good job at making this thing more appealing to a lot of people. Would you be interested now in a PlayStation Portal with this upgraded capability? And speaking about upgrades, next up we're talking about a couple of ROM hacks. The first one here is Mario Kart Super Circuit Music Restoration. And they say here that this is a complete rewrite of this mod that was done in 2022. The mod here has two patch variants, one with the patch's 22 kilohertz mix rate. It makes the game's sound engine mix at 22 kilohertz, and the other patch replaces all the original game samples with uncompressed samples from the Roland SC8850. And the second ROM hack here, we're going from Super Mario Kart on the Game Boy Advance to Super Mario World on the SNES. This one is titled Super Mario World Redone, 40 Years of Mario Edition. Now, at the time of filming, the latest update to this one is version 2.6, and for those who are unfamiliar with it, they say this new version of Super Mario World Redone adds lots of new content to the game while offering upgraded visuals. And in addition to just the visuals, there's now more characters to play as. All of them have their own abilities and can be chosen by pressing L or R in the world map. 5 secret levels. Can you find them? More music. Features from Super Mario Advance 2, such as the extra special world enemies and sound effects. harder bosses, several fixes to the original game, autosave, and even more. And last up here, we're switching back from software to hardware and talking about an unarguably very pocketable handheld. This is the Arduboy FX C that has just been announced. It does come with 300 games included. Now, the 300 games that are included are homebrew games, and this device also supports multiplayer. Don't expect this thing to run something like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Crysis or really anything like that. It's not meant for it at all. It's a very low power, very lightweight device that retails for about 80 bucks. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.